Welcome everyone to Mod Squad Movie Talk Monday. I'm your host Harley, as always, joined by the wonderful Felix.
What's up?
So this week we're going to take a moment of silence for those that we have lost.
This was a heavy week on these guys. I'd be lying though if I didn't say Jerry Springer, didn't stick out.
Well,
Um,
he was battling cancer from F cancer,
F
and
cancer. I didn't know that.
Barry. Yeah, I looked up what he passed from, and it said that he had been battling cancer for some time. And then Barry, he's the voice of the shark and Finding, and he's known for his drag. And then,
I recognized
uh,
him, and then of course the host from Dancing with the Stars. I mean, not that I'm a frequent, a viewer of that, but everyone's
and
seen an episode here and there.
then,
Harry
yeah.
Belafonte. Yeah, it's rounded off. It's been heavy week, heavy week.
So let's move on to the movie news.
This week was CinemaCon. CinemaCon celebrates going to the movies every year in Las Vegas. All of the major players go down to see what each of the different companies are going to provide for the year in movies. Every day is a different studio, and the first day was Sony. So, with Sony, and these are just the highlights, it's not all of them, got Insidious the Red Door, Napoleon, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Bad Boys 4, Craven the Hunter, and Insidious the Red Door. We got a little snippet here.
CinemaCon extended trailer for Insidious The Red Door. The new footage showed an adult Dalton being haunted by a wide variety of demons while his while he's now in college. Patrick Wilson returns as his father, John, and is teased that he's now going to have to guide his son on how to travel between the future and reality. The man with the fire in his face returns to haunt an adult Dalton, and the footage ends with him dragging him across his room in chains like he did when he was a child in the first film.
Yeah, this was on top of the trailer that was released last week, and I'm ready to go back into the world of Insidious. I mean, this is basically the ending of the trilogy because part 4 and 5 weren't about the same family. And hearing this little bit here from CinemaCon, pretty much it
I
excites me.
wish they would have showed that trailer and where they were dragging him through the door for us to show. That would have been an awesome trailer.
Well, see, that is only at CinemaCon. You only get so they get footage only that no one else does. So that was that. But next we have Napoleon, and the only reason why I thought to include this is Joaquin Phoenix. One of the better actors today is going to be in it, and Sony is pretty confident that Ridley Scott will win an Oscar for directing this movie. I've never been a big Napoleon person or thought about him or history or anything, but this makes me want to check it out, especially with Joaquin Phoenix and knowing that Ridley Scott did a awesome job. Ghostbusters Afterlife 2 was also another one, as reported by Harley from Movie Talk Monday. Paul Rudd and Carrie Coon will be wearing the iconic jumpsuits. That is supposed to release in December 20th, 2023. Bad Boys 4, they're 4 weeks into filming. Nothing too more to add to that, but Eric Dane is playing the villain. And here is some Craven the Hunter news.
Sony revealed the first ever footage of Craven the Hunter starred Taylor Johnson. The trailer starts with Craven stopping some poachers in the wild. This is confirmed to be rated R, and the footage really shows it, with Craven killing everyone like an animal. He uses weapons, his hands, and even his own teeth, and he bites a poacher and spits out the blood. That's pretty awesome. He also crawls around walls and pounces on foes like animals. The main conflict is between his father, played by Russell Crowe, who was the one who actually raised him in the way of hunter versus prey. The action features over the top gore, as Craven usually uses all kinds of weapons from spears to bear traps to decapitating and chop up wounds. The footage teased a mysterious new character played by Ariane as well. For those curious, the comic accurate Craven vest with the fire was briefly seen as Aaron Taylor Johnson pulls it out of an old chest, but for the most part, he is not wearing the comic accurate costume in the footage. Surprisingly, he does meet up with another Spider Man villain, the Rhino. A huge fight between the two begins as the former ingests himself with a serum that actually turns him into a huge rhino monster, as opposed to it being a mesh suit. The footage only shows his arms morphing into a big gray rhino like fit that did look somewhat comic accurate.
Check it out. Rated R, Craven the Hunter, him using his mouth, his teeth, his claws. There's going to be a lot of blood in this movie. If that doesn't get you excited, come on. There's a comic accurate Rhino as well. I'm iffy to see if they're going to incorporate Spider Man into this because Craven the Hunter is one of the biggest Spider Man villains. If they are, or if they're not, how they're going to incorporate just being an all villain, like with Venom. He's an anti-hero type villain, but Craven the Hunter seems like he's eating some fools, so I don't see how they're going to make that anti-hero esque. But it's going to be gruesome, and it's going to be a good rated R movie there. But this is all we have for Sony's day at CinemaCon.
Day two was WB's day. We're going to start off with The Conjuring Last Rites.
Yeah, what do you think this movie's? I mean, that's all we got was the title for this. Last Rites makes me think. I think this is exactly what I told you when we were talking about it the other day. It makes me think of priests. It makes me think of dying. It makes me think of demons. So, I mean, that's like every Conjuring movie, but this is kind of specific a little bit to the Catholic background. And I think that maybe churches may play a bigger part in this. But other than that, I don't know if the Warrens are back. We don't know anything besides the title to speculate on. What are you thinking about the title?
They didn't give much details besides the title, as I reported in one of our shorts. I'm actually excited for this. I love the Conjuring series altogether. So I'm excited to see where they take this one.
All right, and speaking of the Conjuring universe, The Nun 2, this is what we got for that.
The Nun 2 footage shown during WB's panel featured a young girl sent to clean a church, only to be bullied by a bunch of girls attempting to scare her by forcing her to stare at a stained glass window. After leaving her alone in the dark, she sees the nun emerge behind her. But her attempt to escape the church fails as the mean girls have locked her in. The footage then shifts into the trailer, which reveals the plot to be about a wave of killings taking place and the Vatican believing the demon to be responsible, and as such send the now fully ordained nun sister Irene to face her once again. The Nun 2 footage highlights far more stylish production design than the first film, potentially indicating a bigger budget than its predecessor. The studio also indicated having big plans for how the sequel will carry on the Conjuring universe. Formiga and Reed were in attendance of the panel, with the former teasing Irene's scene of Duty in stopping Valak while the latter discussed making her franchise debut and joking she isn't a fan of horror movies. The two also discussed their experience filming in a real abandoned church in France, with Farmiga revealing she got frightened easily.
Imagine being in one of these movies and hating scary movies. The good thing from this that I get is that they showed them the actual trailer, so I'm hoping we get the trailer here sometime shortly. Big fan of the Conjuring universe myself. Hoping this one's better than the first one. I did like the first one, but it was one of the weaker ones from the universe.
And the nun movies, they're creepy. They really are. Like, I couldn't imagine being Catholic and going to church and then some creepy nun. No, it would make
Phallic.
me not want to go back. Never again.
It's funny. Well, here's a big change from the Nun. We go to Barbie. WB also gave us a little snippet on Barbie.
In the clip, Barbie is on a pink beach enjoying her posh life with Ken, dancing the night away. But the world goes sour. Burnt toast, cold water, and flat feet. The latter, which makes her and her friends yell. Robbie's Barbie seeks out Weird Barbie, played by Kate McCooney, who is like a rag doll. Weird Barbie tells Perfect Barbie you can go back to your regular life or you can know the truth about the universe. Indigo Girls, closer to fine, blasts during the trailer as Roby Barbie embarks on a fresh journey that takes her to the real world. Will Ferrell's Mattel Toy CEO learns of this and freaks out about the dolls making their way into the real world. There's a moment when a guy on the beach slaps Barbie behind and she punches him. Ken and her get arrested.
Um, wow, that sounds like a lot. I'll let you give your thoughts.
I was excited for this when we did the trailer because it's Margaret Robbie as Barbie. And like they're giving a whole spin on it to where it's not all like the pink glittery Barbie
Yeah,
happy-go
I
lucky
didn't
and
know that it was that Barbie coming into our world. I didn't think it was that type of movie. I thought it was a movie where it was Barbie's world and she was in it. So I don't know.
I like
I
how they're doing the twist on it
Yeah, I mean, I do like the twist, and that's the only thing that would make me want to check it out is the twist,
besides
knowing
Margaret
that
Robbie as
Barbie's coming
Barbie.
here. Well, of course, Margot Robbie's one of my favorites, but yeah, this is I'm not the target demographic for this movie, so
That's
we'll
me.
see. We'll see what's up. I mean, it's not like you have a picture of Margot Robbie behind you or anything.
Yeah.
All right. So next thing, remember again, guys, we're not going through every single thing. We're just going to what stuck out. Meg the Trench was the next one that WB had.
The trailer opens with two land-bound prehistoric monsters eating a large bug, with on-screen text warning that for 65 million years one species ruled the world. The T-Rex, no, the Meg, which eats a T-Rex. Jason Statham is recreated again by Cliff Curtis to hunt another giant creature in the trench. But then, deep underwater, the team starts getting picked off by the biggest Meg anyone has ever seen. We then get various monsters attacking by land and by sea, with Statham almost getting eaten by a shark. We get more scenes of tourists almost getting eaten and tentacled creatures eating a helicopter. The teaser ends with Statham leaping into the air on a jet ski to face off against a shark with a sword.
This is, you're getting what you get in Meg. And I mean, come on,
It
Jason
sounds like a
Statham with a sword? You're going to take down the biggest shark on the world. Gotta have a sword. I mean, come on.
I don't know if I'd watch this one. It doesn't really pique
Doesn't
my
do.
interest.
It's the
Like, it
same
sounds
movie.
like every stereotypical.
I think that's what it means to be. It's just every stereotypical monster movie. But at least he has a sword. It's my favorite part.
He jumps on that jet ski with that sword.
All right, last but not least, and again, we're not doing every movie from Warner Brothers, just the ones that piqued our interest. Wonka. Here's what we got for that.
The footage shows snippets of Wonka on a 7-year journey to perfect his craft. It's a pilgrimage that involves tracking down cocoa beans in the jungle, living out of a tiny apartment where he uses a machine to make chocolate and doing everything he can to break into an industry that's partly dominated by a chocolate cartel. Eventually, Wonka throws a wrench into the system by inventing chocolate that can make people fly. No, seriously. All of this is secondary to the headline here, which is that none other than screen legend Hugh Grant shows up to play Oompa Loompa. Grant's character is extra tiny and can be spotted inside a glass case on Wonka's desk. When Wonka asks what the Oompa Loompa is, Grant replies, "Allow me to refresh your memory with a song so renouncedly catchy it will never leave your mind."
Hugh Grant as a Oompa Loompa.
That's going to be funny to see.
What I get from this is I thought it was going to be more of the serious route when I first, heard they were making this movie, but no, they're going to go. It's going to be a regular Wonka, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, or Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory type Wonka movie. I mean, come on, candy that makes people fly.
Really. No, seriously.
It literally says that in the article. Oh, no, seriously. But yeah, there's WB's Day. I think next was Disney.
For Disney, we have Guardians of the Galaxy, Little Mermaid, The Boogeyman, Elementals, Indiana Jones, Haunted Mansion, A Haunting in Venice, The Creator, Next Goal Wins, Wish, and Marvels.
What am I not looking forward to here? I mean, come on, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 comes out this week. I hear it's very emotional for a Guardians movie. Little Mermaid. I mean, everybody knows on this channel it's got a soft spot. I could still sing all of the songs from Melody from grade school. Boogeyman. I mean, the trailer looks awesome. The Elementals looks like Inside. We were just talking in prep, Inside Out, but with elements. Indiana Jones, The Dial of Destiny. I mean, it's Indiana Jones. Haunted Mansion, not so much me. And then jumping ahead, the Marvels. I am so looking forward to the Marvels, and that trailer won me over. What about
Well,
you?
Wish looks like it's really cute, like a really good family movie. I am looking forward to The Little Mermaid because I cannot wait to see Meli is it Melissa McCartney? No.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah.
she does look
I can't
awesome
wait to
as
see
Ursula.
yeah. In CinemaCon, they said that she went on stage and did her Poor Unfortunate Soul song, and,
Was
like
she in costume?
yes, they said she was in
That's
costume,
awesome.
and they said that it gave a burlesque feeling. And
Right
they
on.
said that she rocked that song, and I am see this movie. Elementals, my kids were big into Inside Out, and so I'm looking forward to see this one because Inside Out, we watched that one so many times, and so this will probably be another one of those we watched so
Yeah.
many times movies. The Haunted Mansion, every trailer I've seen of that, it looks really good, and it's got its comical parts into it, and it's got its moments where it jerks you from what I've seen. The Marvels, well, it's the Marvels. What more do I have to say? And well, from our trailer that we played on the Boogeyman, I am so excited for that because when we did
Yes.
that one, if you saw me in the green room, I jumped with that movie
Yeah,
just
you
from the
were telling me you
trailer.
jumped a couple times.
And I love movies like that. And then the fact that Disney's doing it, I can't wait to see how they actually go into it. And I'm hoping that it's not just the trailer that's the good part, like in some movies where the good part is only the trailer. So
Yeah,
I'm really hoping this is going to be a good one. Well, and Guardians of the Galaxy, I love me some Guardians of the Galaxy. Do I have to say more? Drop your comments below. We look forward to
yeah,
hearing all of them.
yeah. Let us know what you're looking forward to. All right. The next day we had Universal. With Universal, we had Megan 2, which is going to drop January 2025. They're hoping to make it a long running franchise, which I can see that, especially when it comes to AI stuff. Black Phone 2. Don't know if you've seen that, Harley, but God, that
Yeah,
was a
I
good movie. It was a
saw
lot
the
better.
well, I just saw today the actual like picture of it and it looked pretty awesome. Just looking at the picture of
The
it,
poster, yeah.
yeah, the poster of it, it looked pretty awesome. I was like, I
Did you
might
see
have
the
to go
first
watch.
one?
No, I haven't. So I might have to go watch the first one and see
I
this
mean,
one.
you got younger kids, and we were kids at the time of this where this movie takes place. I think it would really shake you. I think Ethan Hawke did an awesome job in it. We got The Exorcist, which finally has a title, The Exorcist Believer. We got Saw X and Fast X. We got a little snippet here on The Exorcist, but really quick. Megan, it was a surprise hit. I can't, it's only obvious that they're going to do a long running franchise from it. Black Phone 2, again, we just discussed that. Saw X, my love for anything James Wan. Yeah, he's just a producer in this, but it's Saw, it's 10th one, and this one's supposed to be taking place between Saw 1 and 2. So I hope it has that same flavor, the same feel, the same, and it's as good as those first few movies were. And Fast X, family. As long as it wasn't as bad as the last one, I think it would be pretty good. I'm looking forward to that. What about you, Harley?
Well, I'm looking forward to the Exorcist one and Saw. Well, and Fast X because Jason Momoa is in it, of course, and well, the Black Phone too because of the picture, well, the poster that I saw. You guys tune into our YouTube channel. We do have shorts for Saw X and The Exorcist on top of other CinemaCon news that came out this last week.
So here's what we got on The Exorcist.
Footage begins with Leslie Odom Jr.'s daughter missing. Turns out she was in the woods, but now she's in the hospital. Baby, you've been gone 3 days, he tells her. Later, she starts convulsing. But there are other younger girls getting impacted by the demonic possession. We see one enter a Catholic church screaming, "The body in the blood! The body in the blood!" Elaine reprises her role from the original movie as Chris McNeil and steps in to help these folks with possessed children. Turns out she definitely knows something. She confronts one of the girls later in the trailer and exclaims, "We've met before."
First of all, there's more than one possession here, and then for it to tell her we've met before. That just kind of gives me chills there to know that it's the same one that took over her daughter's body back in the day. I'm excited for this. I really am. When I heard Believer, I'm like, it's all right. It's a title, but hearing this here, like I said, just gave me chills.
Oh, I'm excited for it.
Which brings us to our last and final day, Paramount. What stuck out to us: Quiet Place Day 1, Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning 1, Smile 2, and Bob Marley One Love. When we were talking about this in prep, Harley was singing One Love. So, come on. Bob Marley has that reach. Smile 2, we know, it had a lot of hits in streaming. So, of course, they're going to make another one. And here's a couple things we got for A Quiet Place Day One.
Although the film wrapped only a few weeks ago, a very brief teaser of A Quiet Place One Day was shown at CinemaCon 2023. We follow Lupita Nyong'o, everyday citizen type character as she rides a bus in New York City. Suddenly, all traffic stops and people are seen walking out of their cars and staring at the sky. A meteor took out half of the bus Lupita's in, and she slowly walks towards the torn half of the bus. More people surround the scene and stand in the middle of the street as they all look up at the sky and witness a meteor shower, which is, of course, all the aliens arriving on Earth for the first time. What follows next is a quick montage of more of the film's action, which reveals a man on an island returning from A Quiet Place Part 2, Alex Swift's character running in fear, and Joseph Quinn's character screeching in pain. The brief footage highlights how humans still don't know about the aliens' attraction to sound, so naturally, crowds of people are heard and taking out in great numbers.
I mean, if that isn't another one that excites you, I don't know what will. I like the how they're setting up the character from part two in this one, and of course, I hope it ends with it setting up our characters from the first one. And from what we read from Mission Impossible, that also seems like I'm not a huge fan. I mean, I like the movies, but it seems exciting as well. What do you think?
I don't know how I feel about this one because, like, I didn't really get into Mission Impossible, and so I mean, I might watch it when it comes on the streaming sites, but am I going to
You're not a
pay to go see it
fan.
in theater?
I mean, it's Tom Cruise, is 80-year-old man doing his
But
own stunts. I mean, if it's not only for that, come on.
I'm not a fan of Tom Cruise. Okay, so here is our first trailer tonight.
Okay.
Family movie night, guys. Oh, whoa.
What?
Will's getting a divorce.
So call him.
We literally haven't spoken to each other in years.
Call him. That's what friends do. Hey!
How are you?
Great. How are you?
How's the beer business?
I'm actually the brewmaster at my own bar now.
Congratulations.
You still got that family of yours?
You want to see a photo?
Wow, there they are. Cool. What are you up to?
Oh, look, it's my life!
So, lunch?
No,
Brunch?
no. I don't have time for this.
Can't be friends with a girl.
There's lots of famous men and women friends. Laura Dern and Sam Neill in Jurassic Park.
Your friendship with Will is not built for this phase of life.
Oh, geez.
This is how a woman experiences a midlife crisis.
You're like a couple of teenage girls. Your whole thing is so weird and destructive.
Can you believe she said we were destructive?
No, we're exactly the opposite.
We are constructive.
We're constructive.
I don't like feeling like the second most important man in your life.
It's embarrassing being a mess in front of you. And Will's a much bigger mess than I am.
All I want is for you to end up happy, you idiot!
Well, I am happy. I've never been happier in my life. Send me the invoice. Break out of your box. Do a little nose candy with us.
Did they have CK back in the day? Just like a mild horse tranquilizer.
It's a horse tranquilizer?
You can't blow it out. It's already in the brain. In my defense, I thought it was cocaine.
And just so I'm clear, that's your defense.
The defense rests.
This is going to be on Apple TV, and it has Seth Rogen in it, and it's going to be hilarious.
See, you like the Seth Rogen. I like the Rose Byrne part. I love her in these movies. She can do serious and she can do comedy. I love her in these roles. When you pitch this to me, I had no idea what you're talking about, and it piques my interest. I'm going to check this one out for sure.
Seems like that a lot lately. The trailers I show you. See, I'm
Not
good
saying
at
what
that.
I'm saying. Not saying what I'm saying.
Okay, let's move on to coming soon. On May 5th, we have Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 with Chris Pratt and Zoe Saldana. We have Love Again. We have Zombie Travelers. We also have Big Fun with and Dylan. That is it for this week. What are you looking forward to, Felix?
It's got to be Guardians of the Galaxy, man. I'm hearing nothing but good things. I think it's certified fresh from Rotten Tomatoes as we speak, and it, all of my go-to reviewers have it, at the top, like the best one from all three of them.
I think I'm looking forward to Love Again, but also Guardians of the Galaxy.
I was gonna say, and then there's also that zombie. I mean, anything zombie piques my interest, so there's that there too.
There's a few good ones this week. Okay, let's move on to our second trailer. This one's a little horror.
When Tamir and I were kids, my mom used to tell us stories. The ayah said never to sleep with a bad feeling in our hearts because there's a dark thing that feeds on those feelings.
What is the deal with Tamira? Is she doing all right?
My stomach drops every time she appears out of thin air like that. There's something in here. You can't see it. But it lives inside. Don't you hear it? You let down. It needs to tenderize the soul by attacking your sanity, isolating you from those who love you. And if anyone tries to help you, it will hurt them.
Why are you whispering?
It's listening. It's called the Pishash. It doesn't kill you right away. It eats you slowly. When it's ready, it eats your soul.
When you suggested this, I had no idea what you were talking about. Here's another one where I didn't know what it was a thing until you said something, and the visuals in this, like the guy in the on the swing set or whatever was going on there, got my interest peaked.
Felix, what are you watching this week?
What am I watching? Here's one that, again, thanks to you, we just watched and finished Florida Man. It was better than what I thought. It was short and sweet. It wasn't, 8, 10 episodes. It was what it needed to be. I think it was only 6 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. And yeah, I mean, everyone, all the characters were awesome. Some of them were even relatable, but yeah, Florida Man. It was a lot better than what I was expecting. You? What do you got?
Well, this week I watched Ghosted, and it was
Okay,
pretty funny. And I
was it?
also went back and started watching True Blood again.
You watching that again? Yeah, I was
hmm
reading an article on Ghosted how he got some of the Avengers to pop in there and do small cameos in that. So
It's really funny.
I'm gonna check that out. I just lost my subscription to Apple TV, so I need to re up it, especially because my Ted Lasso's on there. Love Ted Lasso.
Well, that is it for this episode of Mod Squad Movie Talk Monday. For Felix, myself, and the entire Mod Squad, see you next time, Puddin'.
See ya.